Yes, Okay, good morning. So we have with us today Lynn, which is almost like my name, Aline Banis, and she's a coach, if I understand well, or I would say someone you consult for different areas. So first of all, in a few words, tell us about you and what you currently do.
Well, I am a executive coach who had retired, and then I lost my mother and my little brother and my husband all within 3 years.
Oh, no,
And yes, and that led me to reevaluate.
what
And
you
so
do?
I came out of retirement, and I help widows who've gone past those first stages and are beginning to have their mind clear a little bit and are ready and excited about creating their new life.
Okay, I heard it takes about a year to clear your mind when you lose someone.
Yeah, it does.
So you cannot really accelerate the healing process.
You can't. It's, something people have to go through, and it's miserable and painful and awful, but it does start to lift.
Okay, so since you cannot accelerate it, what do you do with your uh, potential client?
Well, I don't accept them as working clients until they get to that point because the brain fog is so thick that they can't think and they can't make good decisions. And you don't want somebody to make decisions and then feel like they made the wrong decision. So my aim is to have them be totally transformed from where they are when I start working to them to the end where they have a very clear picture of their future, have created a pathway, and then we support them through implementation.
Oh, okay. And so you talk to them, that relieves something right there, and then you help them just get back on their feet or in their head, not on their feet.
Yeah, a lot of it's in their head. Yes,
So you try to get them back to being productive and functioning at 100% optimum level. And then the process with you takes how long?
I have a couple different programs. One program is, excuse me, an 8 week group program.
Yeah.
And the other program is it starts at 3 months, and then we continue if they need to, and that's one-on-one program with me
3 months.
to
That,
start.
oh, to
Yeah,
start. And how do you assess that they are good now?
I do an interview with them, and I have a set of questions that will reveal that for me.
Okay. Okay. So it's a progressive kind of process. And then if after
Yes,
3 months you see they're ready to fly on their own, then you let them go. If not, you coach them a little bit longer.
yes, yes.
Yeah. And since you had three in a row, that's even tougher, right? So you went through the parent, the partner, and your mother,
My
right?
brother,
Right?
brother, yeah.
A brother. That's so two family, one close relationship, and all of a sudden they're no longer on your radar. And then do you make new relationships with close people?
Yeah, absolutely. The idea is to um, figure out what your new identity is, because after you lose your spouse, it is everything. Everything is affected. I
Oh,
mean, how
okay.
you eat, everything. And so the idea is let's create a life that's going to be fulfilling for you and joyful. And so, yeah, we talk about creating a strong support network,
Yeah.
and and then I do a lot of um brain work
Yeah.
because people need to really get in touch with their values and beliefs and get those aligned. And then a lot of self-limiting beliefs get changed, and mindset, we take a look at that. And once they're clear and able to really see a path beginning to show up, then we work on creating that vision.
Sounds like a plan. So you went from the status of widow, which is kind of depressing word, to single. Because
Yes.
if you say to someone, I'm a widow, everybody say, oh, I'm so sorry. But if you say I'm single, it's another note. It's like you're starting a new life, so you're not married yet.
Yeah,
uh,
that's right. That's right.
so the
And
word itself makes a difference.
absolutely, absolutely. And it's that's an interesting thing because widows really don't like the word.
Yeah,
It's
me, I don't like the word. Even when I talk to someone, just to say you're a widow is like, okay, was it the past year or was it 5 years ago? So after 1 year, you all of a sudden a new entity. You're single.
yeah, you're single. And some people aren't ready at 1 year. Some
Really?
people take longer. Yeah, I've worked with someone who had been miserable for 10 years.
Oh no. Well,
And it's
a
important to
long,
understand that
yeah.
that prolonged grief has extreme health and psychological impacts.
Oh, I see.
To be grieving that long is really tough on your body and your mind.
Oh, okay, okay. So they might need instead of you, if it's 10 years, maybe they need a psychologist.
I think a combination. A
Okay.
psychologist isn't going to really help them rebuild their life like I do.
Okay.
A psychologist will help them get out of that very, very negative rut of thinking that they're in.
Okay. Okay. So it's two different type of coaching.
Yes, yes.
And also psychologist is someone who listens to you, once in a while give you advice, but pretty much they try not to tell you what to do. They try to suggest things. As for coach, it's more like hands-on things. Do this, do this. By next week, I'd like you to do this. By next month, I'd like you to do this. And after 3 months, that person should be back on track, correct?
They should be. They should be. Although I must say that coaches who have been trained as coaches don't tell people what to do. We explore with them possibilities and try to open their mind to different possibilities that they may not be thinking of, and then we work together to create the actions that they would need to be taking during the week
Okay.
or the time between the courses. Yeah,
So you meet at least once a week, if I understand well.
I do. Yes, yes.
Okay. Once a week, see if they have made any progress, and then if not, go back to square one and then start again.
Yeah, take the next step. Yep.
I
And
see.
obviously some people handle grief. Everyone's a little different. And so it's a matter of, some move quickly, some move more slowly, and just supporting them in the process.
Wow. Okay, got it, got it. So you applied those same technique on yourself, I assume.
Yes, that's how I created the process that I use, a 8-step process that
8 step. Okay.
8 steps.
Mm,
Yeah.
nice. So yeah, a lot of coaches talk in terms of steps. Like, okay, you did this week, next week try to do this, next month try to do this, and then see if the person is cheerful again, right?
Well, yeah, and coaches have different methods and techniques that they use. So, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
My
because
technique
it,
is more of a where are you now?
mhm.
Where do you want to be at the end of our
No,
process? Yeah. And then we talk about each session. We move a little bit further, and do different things that are going to um, get the person to the place they want to be.
yeah, the word step give people some structure rather than anytime. So
Right.
that's why a lot of coaches use the word step.
Yeah, I agree. And for widows, it's they need structure because everything has been, rug has been totally pulled out from under them, and they're at loose ends in every aspect of their life. So the
Oh, yeah.
structure really helps them, you know, get back on their feet.
Yeah, because if you tell them, okay, do this by anytime you want or by whenever you have time, then it could take, like you said, forever, like 10
Yeah,
years.
yeah, yeah,
So the
yeah.
structure can move them a little bit faster.
Yes, it does. And it gives them, it gives them a feeling that they're in control of something.
Wow. Okay. And then
When you think about
when
losing
you
your
see
spouse and
their, yeah,
everything,
when you see what?
when you think about them losing their spouse and their entire life changing, there
Yeah.
is no control. They feel like they're totally out of control.
Yeah.
So, so it's important to give them some feeling and understanding of what they do have control of.
I see. I see. So, do you measure that by the way how cheerful they are now, or do you measure that more like, are you back on track to where you were before your spouse passed away?
It's kind of a difficult thing in that we I watch the progress, where are they in the progress, and are they at the end, are they truly taking steps to make the changes that they need to make in order to create this new life? And once I'm clear that they really mean it, they're totally committed, they're excited about doing it, then we go ahead and put it into action.
Got it. It's not necessarily get a new job. It's not necessarily join an organization. It's not necessarily a specific thing. It's what they want to be.
That's right. That's right. And most people want to um, honor their loved one, and sometimes they get stuck thinking, "Oh, I can't do that. He wouldn't want me to do that," or that's just not the right thing for me to do. And we've got to get them out of those mindsets and understanding that this is their time now. They can be and who live the way they want to, without having to make the space for another person. And nothing negative about marriage, but getting out of that mindset that I can't do this because, or I can't do that because,
Do
it's
you do
really
you
getting them to some
advise them
freedom.
to change house or change environment? Like the whole house is filled with memories of the loved one. Do you
It
advise
is.
to move out?
I don't advise them to move out. Really, my best advice is to not make any major decisions for a year.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, because it's just too much change, and it's just overloads the body.
Yeah, but then they
Um,
wake up and they see the cup where the
they
husband
do.
drink from, or they see something that reminds them of that person,
Absolutely.
and therefore you become in a loop. It never goes away.
Well,
As if you move out, then it's a new environment. It's a new set of furniture. It's a new closet, and therefore that helps to start new.
it does for some people. There is an important aspect of accepting reality, of where you are now. And
Oh,
the reality is that your loved one is not there anymore. And so the part of the process of grieving in those first months is to understand that and accept it and start to in honor and enjoy the memories of what was
Okay,
instead of feeling terrible about him being gone.
okay, but do you get rid, for example, of most of the clothes that are in the closet that belong to that person, or do you advise to not get rid of all the objects?
I suggest they get rid of things as they feel that they can.
Oh, okay, okay.
And
Yeah,
and we
because
talk
then it's
about,
an attachment to the things.
yeah, yeah. And some people want to keep some pictures around.
A
Because
picture, yeah, yeah, a picture, but not everything, not like,
oh no, 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 no. But people have to be ready to do that. Um, and there's some people that just find it so difficult to even walk in the closet.
oh, okay,
Um,
okay. Yeah, or just walking in the front room and here's a painting the person did, or is it's something that the person purchased, a vase or something, and say, "Oh, that used
sure,
to be my husband's favorite vase, or that used to be my husband' favorite painting." So all this kind of prevents you from forgetting that person.
I don't want them to forget that person. That's not the point of recovery. The point of recovery is getting your mind to the place where you can think positively and not feel that pain, that terrible pain of loss, and be able to talk about them in talk about good memories and happy times, and be able to do that without a lot of pain.
And if
Um,
they are, let's say, invited to an event and they show up with that person, then everybody say, "Where is that person?" Or they're afraid to even approach it. So you decide to go alone, or you decide not to go at all, or it must be painful that there too.
it is painful, and but that's something we have to get used to. Um, and I think that as people get more used to their new environment, their new, the new way of being, that they start to venture out a little more. Um, I think one thing that's important and that I'm also trying to do is to educate the general population on grief and what is that like. And it doesn't need to be a taboo.
Okay.
We don't talk about grief and death. And there's certain ways you can talk to someone who's lost their spouse that are more helpful. For instance, saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry, but he's probably in a better place." No, you're better off to say, "I didn't know. I'm really sorry. I'm here for you."
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. So you can't, and never say, "I know how you feel," unless you've been through it, because you don't. And nobody knows what it's like because there's nothing like it.
Okay, okay. So you don't try to even put yourself in their shoes. They're different.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you don't really know about their relationship and their how the depth of it, and the whole, the whole nine yards. And the person who's grieving is just having such a terrible time. It's much better to do things like buy them some groceries and leave it at the front door or something too,
Is it like
like a care package.
care package to cheer them up?
Yeah, and to help them. I mean, you don't feel like eating. You don't feel like doing anything really at first. So, um, providing things that they're not providing for or doing for themselves is very helpful. What happens after your spouse passes? Everybody gathers around you at first, and they try to support you, and maybe a child stays with you for a week or something, and then you're on your own, and it is like that's it. casseroles stop coming. You know, people go on with their lives. And so widows feel so lonely and neglected. And if
Hmm.
you just pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I just wanted to hear your voice," not "How are you feeling?" because they feel horrible.
Okay.
And so you're better off to just call and, act like a friend. "Hey, I was thinking about you. What's up?"
Do you suggest
Um,
a support group? Because some hospitals do offer support
some
group.
do, yes, and they're very helpful for some people. Um, there's a lot of widows that don't want to be in a group like that because they don't want to keep going over and over their pain.
Oh, okay.
So, so
It's like
it's up to the
rehashing,
individual. Yeah,
like
yeah,
rehash. And
yeah,
you were a psychologist before you became a coach?
yes, yeah.
Okay.
Not clinical though, not clinical.
But you worked with patients?
No, sometimes I thought they were. I was in business and worked with executives. And my doctoral work is in human behavior. So I did help them develop as leaders and did global change management. So those two things are very applicable to what I do now.
Okay, executive coach, that's a different ballgame, I guess. It's totally
Yeah,
different. So you have to tell them how to move forward their company or something like that. Uh,
partially, and dealing with their staff,
okay,
um,
yeah.
and
So,
all those things.
so a widow might have grandchildren or family or might not. So that's a
Right.
different thing too. So every situation is gonna have a different angle to approach with. Like if they
Yeah.
have a lot of family, then you might suggest go visit your sister, go visit your niece, things like that. But if they don't have that support family, you tell them travel to go see that family or something where they feel surrounded by a support group because some people move out of the area when they grow
I
old.
know.
So do
Yeah.
you do you advise moving back closer to family members?
That really depends on their relationships.
Okay.
There's a whole aspect of dealing with family, um, because some people, their kids have their own lives and they just go on with life. And then there's other people who are very close to their kids, but most women don't want to burden their children,
Mm,
and it's very difficult to ask for what they need. So, sometimes it's better just to find some of the widows to go out to dinner and lunch with, or go to a movie with. But the close family, that's wonderful if that's part of what they have.
okay.
Uh, but not everybody does. Families
Okay.
are
So
families.
maybe start new friends. Yeah.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
hard too because you got to belong to an organization too. And even if you belong to an organization, you're not going to go up to someone and say, "Hey, I just lost my husband. Would you have lunch with me next week?" That the person will look at you, "Oh, I feel sorry for you," rather than I want to be your friend kind of thing. It's different hard to approach someone and on the get-go tell them, let's do something, let's go shopping together, for example.
yeah.
It's
But you
hard.
don't have to tell them that you just lost your husband. You can just say, "Hey, you want to go shopping together?" Or, "Hey, could you go to lunch with me?" You know,
Oh, okay.
you don't have to tell them.
Oh, you don't want them to really feel sorry for you.
Well, you don't, because people feel so uncomfortable and they
Oh,
don't know what to say. Um, and often they end up saying the wrong thing. And
oh,
so, it causes hurt sometimes.
I
You know,
see.
this, anyone that thinks they ought to be better in a month, our businesses only give people 3 days of bereavement leave.
Oh.
And when you think about it, that it takes
Think-
probably about a year to be able to function,
Oh,
consistently. We just have it all wrong in our society.
mm. Yeah, yeah, because if the manager of the company doesn't know what's going on, he might notice something about you, but he doesn't know really what's going on.
Right. Right.
And
And your product productivity probably goes down
oh,
because you can't focus, you can't concentrate. Your mind is just so, full of all the pain and everything you're going through that it's really hard to concentrate and it's hard to get motivated to do anything.
oh yeah, yeah. So you don't have someone at home motivating you. Uh, someone when you come home, you don't have someone say, "Oh, how many sales did you do today?" or things like that. So all of a sudden, you don't have someone to report to at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yes, indeed.
So it's better anyway, when I look at it now, it's better to have a job. This way, when you go to the office, there's at least people.
Well, it can be, yes. And it makes you get up in the morning.
Yeah.
So
As if
many
you
people
don't,
don't
yeah.
even want to. Yeah.
Yeah, as if you don't have a job, then you say, what am I gonna do today? Go to a coffee shop?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So you have a little pet behind you?
No, I have two grandchildren here that are trying to be quiet for me.
Oh, grandkids. That's wonderful that you have
Yeah.
grandkids. So
Yeah.
yeah, it looks like you do have family, you do have a
Yes,
support group for yourself.
I do. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that sounds good. So I can do the interview in another language, but I understand you prefer just English, correct?
Yeah, I only do English.
Okay, okay. So thank you so much for your insights into these problems that are unseen problems. So for people who would like to seek outside help, if they don't have, like you say, a support family, they
Right.
can reach out to you on LinkedIn, Lynn Banis, correct?
Yep. Lynn Banis. I'm on LinkedIn. And they can contact me at
Yeah.
lbanis at
Banis.
ameritech.net.
Ameritech is your company.
No, my company is Widows Rising Together. That was
Oh.
my email address.
Okay, Widow Rising Together. And then what's Ameritech doing in the middle of this?
That is my email. So
Oh, that's the email. Okay, okay. You used to work for Ameritech.
no, that's just the company that does my email.
Oh, oh, it's so your server. Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
It's
Gmail.
like Gmail. Yeah.
I never heard of Ameritech since 1992, so must be something overlooked because I've came across many email server, but I never heard of Ameritech. So it's something new.
Well, no, it's not new because I had it when I lived in the Chicago area, and that was um around 94.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's inconvenient about it is that it's .net instead of .com, which
Oh, that's
throws
another
people off.
thing. That's another thing. Most people do .com.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You should hook up with Gmail then. Easier to find you, and 90% of the people have Gmail.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, it has been very enlightening to talk to you. You seem to be very empathic person, so you are willing to listen to people and see if you can help them.
That's right. That's right. And thank you so much for the opportunity. I this was very, very enjoyable.
Okay, thank you. So feel free to post the interview after I sent it to you to your social media or mailing list. Thank you.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Eileen.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.